As part of We the People, celebrating 250 years, here's This Day in History.
Hey, we are creeping up on America's 250th birthday next month. In the meantime, we're going to share our We the People series, the people, places, and things of the past that have shaped our country into what it is today. Here is Charlie Shortino with This Day in History.
Hello again. On this day, June 10th, back in 1837, workmen arrived in Madison to begin construction of the first state capitol building. The current building is the third one to occupy the site. The first capitol was built in Belmont and another one in Burlington, Iowa. The building was designed in 1836 by James Duane Doty and his surveyor, J.V. Sweetham. The building was completed in 1848, the same year Wisconsin was admitted into the Union as a state. Less than a decade after the completion of the building, the Capitol was determined to be too small for the growing needs of Wisconsin state government. By 1856, the building was falling into disrepair and concerns were mounting with regard to the structure's susceptibility to fire. The second Madison Capitol lasted a little longer before it was severely damaged by a fire in 1904. The current Capitol building was completed in 1917. That's This Day in History for June 10th. For We the People, I'm Charlie Shortino.